Greetings to you one and all, and welcome to another episode of the Broad Points Podcast. I am your host, the broad that points, the broad with the points. It's me, Tyler, the lady. Welcome to another episode, everyone. We are here. I have been rocking and rolling. June has been an absolute whirlwind of a month, but the episodes are happening. We are making it happen. I'm scheduling future episodes with guests, so that is something to look forward to. It's not just always me. Not that that's a problem or, something that you wouldn't want to hear. I mean, I guess after probably, how many episodes are we at? 77 or something? That's a lot of episodes. You probably like hearing me. Thank you. I like having you here, and I'm always happy to share. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I am back in town, back in the desert, been bouncing around, actually, to a couple different deserts. I had just talked about being in Phoenix. My most recent trip, Vegas, baby. I was talking to my friend, actually, and calling it Las Vegas for the drama of having, more syllables in the city I was going to. So I decided to use its proper name as if it were in trouble. And she was just like, nobody else says that. You're the only person I know that calls it Las Vegas. And mostly I do just call it Vegas. But this trip was extraordinary. It was absolutely unbelievable. And before I get into this trip, I want to jump into the fundamental phrase, because I believe wholeheartedly that the fundamental phrase actually is what fueled this trip, this Las Vegas, no doubt sphere trip. Yes, lots of things happening. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the fundamental phrase for the week. It is make your own luck. Yes, you heard me correct. Make your own luck. How often are we finding ourselves, this may or may not be you in the present moment, waiting for luck to happen, hoping that luck will happen? Right? I think often of the slot machines or the tables in Vegas, the actual gambling that happens in Vegas, people who are just hoping that their luck will play out, right? That is the sort of thing just throughout your life, you can just be hoping that things are going to happen rather than taking control of your life. Now, if you just Google search, make your own luck, it has a particular order of the way that people make their own luck, I guess, according to Google. I don't know how they got that definition for it. But on this episode of the Broad Points Podcast, I'm going to give you my definition for making your own luck. And the reason why I emphasize it's my way to do it is because that we can all have our own way of creating our own luck. I like to put emphasis on the way I speak about things. I have a very strong belief that the things that are echoing around in our head, they tend to bleed out into our outer world, sometimes creating our entire world, our entire problems, right? If you have some of those, we're creating those a lot of the times with the things that are going on within our head. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm always trying to bring, things to the forefront that we can have positively echoing in our head, giving us the choice to rework and rewire some of that internal monologue. And so, I try to be particular in the things I say. This one, I'm going to be specific in the order. So, when you make your own luck, you really are putting yourself in a position to win, right? In life, there is no winning, there is no losing. But if you were aiming for success, you would want to put yourself in the position for it. So, do with that what you will. Additionally, we can create the conditions for our success. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it because there's always someone new listening, or maybe you're still listening and this is the first time you're hearing it. But we have the choice to define what success looks like for us, which is something that is just so beautiful. Rather than living outside of yourself, trying to live up to others' expectations of what success may be, maybe it's not resonating with you. A lot of the times, it doesn't resonate when other people are talking about what they see as success, because that's their dreams. Only you can see your dreams. Only they can see their dreams. So even if they're wishing well for you, right? I think often of family ties, family relationships, they're wishing well for you, but they're thinking along their dreams, right? Rather than what you want. Maybe it's what they think is best for you, but that may not be the path that you want to take. And so always trying to highlight that here, always trying to encourage you to take a look at that internal monologue. And if something's not working out, decide maybe if you want to choose something else to think instead, right? We have the power. So when it comes to making your own luck, this is my recipe, right? These are my steps to making my own luck. Number 1 is mindset. Without having mindset, right? Without being fully engaged, without selling ourselves on the idea, right? We're not going to commit. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to do it. Why? Because we don't think we can. We don't think we want to. We don't think we need to on the mission, whatever you want to call it. It's not going to happen if mentally we are not behind it. And so this is where the power of 1, choosing to fight for yourself, choosing to fight for your dreams, acknowledging that you can see them, and choosing to pursue them. That's all mindset, baby. That's huge. And so getting behind your dreams, choosing to go down the path, that's when we can take our next step. And so after mindset, we have preparation. Yes, preparation, because we can't just go out and run a marathon. I mean, maybe you can. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do. Maybe you're a superhuman. Maybe you've already been running hundreds of miles and you could just absolutely go out and do that. I know personally I could not. So really here I am projecting. Classic case of projection. But for me personally, I know where I'm at. I would like to prepare for that event. I would like to prepare for that marathon. And honestly, when it comes to making your own luck, you have to put in the preparation, right? If you want to look a certain way, if you want to feel a certain way, we have to take the steps in order to get there, right? This is all part of setting up that stage. And the final step, the third step, I'm a big 3 girl. You're going to notice that in this podcast if you continue to listen. I grew up loving Charmed, just side tangent here. The show Charmed, maybe you know it, maybe you're too young and you have no idea what I'm talking about. But it was about this family of witches, 3 sisters to be exact, and the power of 3 would set you free. And that's just such a fun thing. I just loved that so much, and it's just always stuck with me. Coincidentally, later on in life, I found out that through numerology, which my grandma would hate, the fact that I even know this or looked this up, but it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks when you are on your journey. pursue what you want to pursue. And so through this numerology, I found out that my life path number is 3. So are there coincidences in this life? I do not believe so, which is why if we set ourselves up, mindset preparation, we can come through with step number 3, dedication and consistency. Why do I say dedication and consistency, do you ask, right? Well, because you must commit, right? You must commit to it. You have to be absolutely, completely dedicated. I'm sold. I'm fully buying this furniture. I'm going to sleep on this bed until my dying days, right? Or until it gives out, until it indents or something crazy happens, the warranty expires. Who knows? But we're going to be fully committed. And we're also going to be consistent, because once you make the commitment, it's so easy to be like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. But the consistency paired with that dedication allows you to show up time and time again, and to check in with the intention behind it. Ooh, intentions are so important. I had no idea even what intentions were probably until my late 20s. Not kidding. It truly, sometimes the jokes can't write themselves, because I was just moving through life. I was acting for other people. I had no intentions other than to be fun, to party, to have a good time. And it left me with quite a shallow life, I must say. If I'm reflecting back on it now, I do see how shallow it was. And I also see why I was so willing to self-sabotage and destruct, right? I had a point in my life where I completely blew it up. I allowed myself to get wrapped up into patterns of toxic thinking, of things that I had been through in my past. I've come through a very colorful, we'll call it, an extensive history of events that, have really shaped me and allowed me to be where I am today. But I recognize now just all of the possibilities once I decided to commit to myself. And so that is really why this fundamental phrase is it's such a big deal to me. And part of my dreams really are, being able to perform, being able to connect, being able to do new things, and truly find where and how I want to contribute to society, right? This is one way that I contribute. There are multiple ways, and to be able to find teams of people, I'm starting to connect with people now who we're starting to have crossover visions. We're talking about things and we're seeing the overlap, and that's just a very exciting thing. That didn't happen overnight. I made my own luck there. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you actually about a couple times that I've made my luck over the last few years, right? We're going to go back all the way to when I was working in travel. I was working in travel originally in this company doing tech support. I was creating customized online booking tools for people, for corporate and government clients. It was whatever. I was good at it, but then I had a manager who was I was not vibing with the team anymore. We had a shift in management, a shift, honestly, in the whole structure, and I was not a fan. So I chose to leave. And when I did that, I went to the fisheries team, and now the fisheries team was in office in Seattle, which was kind of cool, kind of not, because I started living all the way up in Arlington, Washington. So that became quite the commute. But while I was doing that, there were these only two positions in the entire company that were allowed to go to Alaska. And their schedule was to work for 3 weeks and then have 3 weeks completely off. So on your 3 weeks off, you could travel. You could do anything you wanted to in those 3 weeks. And then you go back and you work for 3 weeks. So 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. Only 2 positions, right? And this is at the time when I'm booking for the Deadliest Catch cruise, right? That's what fisheries means. It's like all of the corporate fisheries and the Deadliest Catch cruise. So I'm going in and out of Dutch Harbor. That's the dream, right? I want to go there. Only 2 people can do it. Those positions are occupied. There are 2 people who have their whole career ahead of them. They don't need to not be there for any particular reason. But I know I want to go there. I just have this like, oh man, it'd just be so cool if I could go up to Alaska and be working in Alaska and just see what it's like up there and then have 3 weeks off to just travel and do anything I wanted. I just kept thinking that, you know, it was 100 miles almost round trip. 90 miles to be exact, round trip. We won't over-exaggerate here. I'll tell you what it was. 90 miles round trip if I didn't go to school that day because I was also doing community college down below in Des Moines, Washington. So quite a lot of driving. It's honestly so impressive that my car now only has 76,000 miles on it because it's a 2016 and driving 90 miles round trip every day, I thought for sure I was going to have like hundreds of miles on this car. So everything works out, right? I truly just started to believe and I got behind that mindset and I started to prepare myself as an advisor, as an agent. I didn't start calling them advisors until this last company. I don't know what it is with this last company. They're like freaking out about the term agent. They don't like travel agent. They're not having it. So I say advisor now. But I mean travel agent when I say travel advisor, just to be clear. And so, I did the preparation to make myself the best possible agent so that I could go up to Alaska, so that I could work alone up there, so that if the position never did open, spoiler alert, it did, I would be ready for it. And once it did get opened, I was the first one they asked. I was the first one willing to go because I was not married and I had no kids. So, that was my opportunity, right? But I made my own luck just by believing that. Before Matt and I came down to the desert, this is another instance, we had been coming down here for, I don't even know, we were down here for months. We were down here for months at a time during the pandemic, and I just remember looking at him and saying, what if we moved down here? What if we lived here? And what if we did it by the holidays? Because I love, family holidays are like really cool, and I love sharing the time with everyone. I also love not doing any of that. I love having my own holiday where I can just do whatever I feel I want to do and relax and just have, the actual day, to just do whatever I feel I want to do. As you grow up, you get to decide, and define what your holidays look like. And so I have really, really taken hold of that. Alaska, when I wasn't able to be at holidays because of work, allowed me to see that if you don't want to do something, you don't have to. If you don't want to worry about something, you don't have to care about it. Like, it's so funny. Life is so funny, Invest in the things that you want to and nothing more. If you're not into it, move on. Move on, because there's so many things out there, and the things that make you happy are the things that, usually for me, make me feel alive, right? So I'm trying to do lots of things that make me happy. I'm trying to, continue to make my luck. And it's so funny because last year was my first trip to Hawaii. I had never been to Hawaii. I had never seen Lincoln Park and manifested that too. We've talked about that on a previous episode, but I'm just going to give you one more for this podcast. And that is when literally on the beach of Hawaii last year, I was looking at Matt and just rejoicing in gratitude for such an amazing trip and such a beautiful place. Just breathtaking, stunning. I can't even. And while I'm sitting there, I think to myself, wow, wouldn't it be so cool if the whole family could be here, right? Because Matt's youngest brother has 2 little kiddos, and a boy and a girl. And I was like, what if we could all be here? We have some other friends who they're going with their kids. And I was like, man, it'd be so cool if we could just all go together and just be there together. And it's so funny because this was apparently happening before I even knew it. So I had been dreaming about this for a while, all since last year. I'm sitting on the beach, right? This year, we'll say in May, I'm talking to, I'll call her my sister-in-law, and saying, wouldn't it be so cool if we could all go to Hawaii together? It would just be the most fun. Thinking this is going to be in years to come, right? Next year, maybe, right? Maybe next year. That's what I was thinking. Within the next 3 years. That was really the timeline for me. And she had no idea that I didn't know that they were going to Hawaii this year. And apparently, we were invited. So, if you stay focused on your dreams, if you continue to talk about your dreams, they start to become realities. So, is it really luck, right? Or are we putting in the intention? Are we putting in the effort? And so, this week I encourage you, I've been doing it all month, to try out a visibility practice. You can have this be whatever you want it to be. This isn't me telling you one in particular. I am going to share, of course, some things that I have been doing, but you can decide. Maybe it's, I don't know, I'm not really a fan of posting on social media, but maybe it is posting on social media. Maybe you want to be visible to people. Let them know that you're alive. But shoot off a post. Right? Maybe you want to have a phone call. Maybe you want to go out and have coffee, with someone. There are lots of ways that we can allow ourselves to practice being visible, right? And so some things for me. Wear the outfit, right? We went to Vegas. We went to No Doubt at the Sphere. I mean, I just had some really fun outfits. And even for Queen Herbie, I had some fun outfits that I usually wouldn't wear, right? Sequins are not my thing. I did learn, honestly, though, sequins are not my thing because they rub on your underarms. So if you're thinking about wearing sequins, they are so cute. I will give you that. Just be prepared for your little arms to be chafed off if they are rubbing directly on the sequins because it is so uncomfortable. But that's my story. When I was doing dance, I did a heels class. It was a floor work heels class. So much fun. I've never danced in platform shoes before. And so we were doing that. That's being visible with that. Also, I was wearing a 2-piece. It was a bodysuit and some leggings, completely see-through. You cannot tell it from the video, but they were completely see-through. And so, the layering of them, of course, is what hides the goods. But ultimately, I'm wearing things that I wouldn't usually feel comfortable in. I'm challenging myself to take new opportunities, to push myself outside of my comfort zone. Because ultimately, when we do that, when we are outside of our comfort zone, when we show up, right, for those dance classes, we build new connections. We build new connections within ourselves, right? We build new learning. We build new ways of talking to ourselves. We build new skills. We also build those external connections, those communities. Yes, the more I talk to people, the more I share with people, the more vulnerable and honest I am with people, the more I hear, no way, me too. No way, me too. And so, it allows you to feel human. It also allows you to recognize that other people are out there with similar dreams. We are allowed to chase them. We sure as heck are. And, if, your dreams just so happen to line up with someone else's, You get to do a little dance in life, so to speak. It may be a physical one. It may be a metaphorical one. We don't know. It does not matter. But the communities, I mean, honestly, since I've been here and I've been putting intention behind developing my communities and really connecting with people that are going to, continue to lift me up. We all rise together. I'm not trying to do the trauma bond anymore. I'm not trying to drag anybody down. I want to grow together. I want to flourish. I want to build the things that we want to see in the world, because no one else is going to do it. No one else can see your dreams but you. And so it's our responsibility, right? It's our choice. It's whatever word you want to insert here, whatever makes you feel comfortable, right? I'm always encouraging you to write your own story. Choose your own words. Recognize how the words make you feel and decide if it's benefiting you or if maybe you want to make some changes. Because you can always pivot. You can always pivot. There are always more things to do in this life. It really is just about pursuing the ones that you love. Love transcends this plane. It really does. When we are experiencing love, we are experiencing a place outside of ourself. And, that's not this physical plane. It's not the mind, body, spirit where we exceed that, we transcend that. And now we're in this new place of just raw, unconditional love. It's beautiful. It's beautiful what happens when you remove judgment from the world. But we take the steps to get there. And it all starts by recognizing what's echoing in our head. So if you have enjoyed this episode, if you want to talk to me about it, maybe you want to tell me your recipe for how you make your luck, you absolutely can at Broad Points or at Tyler the Lady. And if you'd like to email me, by golly, you can, friend. It is broadpointspodcast@gmail.com. Now, I think we hit this one home. You probably got it by now. But you know what we do here. And if not, I'll tell you. We wrap it up one more time with that fundamental phrase for the week. Really cement it in here. Make your own luck.